Hi, I'm Rissel, and welcome to me screaming into the void, mostly about books. I wanted to use my library more, so I created a challenge for myself with certain prompts. And for September, I have the prompts a librarian recommends and new to the library. And for a librarian recommends, I chose The Chilbury Ladies Choir by Jennifer Ryan. And this is about a small village during the Second World War where they were creating a ladies' choir, which was very common in England, but in this book is clearly not common at all. Oh, I didn't like this book. It wasn't so bad as I was afraid it was going to be when I was about halfway through. Because I don't DNF books. I have this weird thing in my brain where my brain won't let me DNF books. Even if I am yelling at the book because I'm so upset with it. The only time I've DNF'd books is if someone else has forced me to stop reading this book. So halfway through it, I was really angry with this book. And then luckily it didn't end up as bad as I feared, but what you gonna do? Reason why I didn't like the book is that I felt that it was pointless. And when I'm saying pointless, I mean that the book is about this choir and there is all of these characters that we follow. So it's an ensemble book. And I don't really know what the book tries. What did the book want me to think about or feel about? Sort of. I'm sorry. I'm breaking down. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do when I don't like books. Because I don't want to be mean, because I know that there are people who like this book. And I'm not bashing you for liking this book. I like a lot of books that are objectively not good books. But I'm trying to think about a way to talk about this in a more analytical way, to put into words why I don't like this book. And the reason why I think I don't like this book, and when I'm talking about it being pointless, when I read books, I sort of separate the plot and the story. So the plot are the things that are happening in the book. So there is a war. These women are creating a choir. This person wants to be a professional singer and therefore does this and this. This person is bored with living in her small village and wants to experience more things and therefore does this and this. That's the plot. That is what's happening. Then it is the story. The story is, what is the book about? What does the book want you to... Considering that all books are communication, what is the communication? And there are certain books where I don't think they really reflect over the fact that books are communication. That you can't really just have plot. You need to have an idea of what that plot means. So, for example, there is a plot with two sisters. One is 13, one is 19, And the 19-year-old is really bored with her life. And the war, surprisingly enough, is giving her a chance to experience things. And she is also quite flirty because she's a 19-year-old in a small village, and she's quite pretty, and she knows she's quite pretty. And then you have the 13-year-old that is angry at the 19-year-old because another 19-year-old man that the 13-year-old is in love with her 19-year-old sister. And she knows that the sister isn't in love with him back. The 13-year-old is sort of talks a lot about, oh, she's so flirty. She's so flirtatious. It's a scandal. I can't really see that she's actually that flirty with this guy that the 13-year-old is in love with, but that's something else. And then the question sort of is, with this dynamic, with the 19-year-old who's flirty and the 13-year-old that is condemning her, what does the book think about this dilemma? Does the book think that the 13-year-old is right, that the 19-year-old has fallen from grace? There are things that are happening in the book that sort of puts the 19-year-old in a difficult situation. So is the 13-year-old right, or is the 13-year-old wrong? Is the 13-year-old an idiot because she's 13 years old? And what she needs to learn is that her sister isn't so bad as she lends her out to be. Or is it complicated? It doesn't really matter to me what the book thinks about the plot, as long as it thinks something about the plot. And I don't really see that the book thinks anything about the plot. So if I was going to ask someone, what is this book about? Not the plot, but what is it about? Is the book about the importance of music? It talks a lot about music, but it doesn't really. There is no point in the book where someone sort of uses music as a way of, where we are told this happens, where we are shown what music can do to someone, where we are shown the changes that can happen with people or with a community when it comes to music. We are told that music is important, and we are told that the most important thing when you sing is having passion. Okay? So, this is a book that really doesn't fit. Stuff happens, but I'm not supposed to think about why stuff happens. And that's why I didn't like it. And if there is something about the book, if this was something you really enjoyed and you think that I didn't get it, let me know. I am very, very open for the fact that there is something here that I didn't get, because this book does have people who love it. So please let me know if you're thinking, oh, but you didn't get this. Tell me in the comments down below. The book that was new to the library was Laila Slimani, The Other's Country. So Laila Slimani is a French-Moroccan author, and this story is semi-biographical, based on what I managed to read, and it's about her, I assume, grandparents, where her Moroccan grandfather traveled to France to fight in the Second World War. found a French woman in a small village in France. They got married and moved back to Morocco. And the book sort of follows their life after the Second World War and how they deal with being an interracial couple, with the man being Moroccan in Morocco at the time where France was still heavily influenced in Morocco. I think Morocco at this time actually was a colony. So sort of a lot of the farmers that had the good land were French. The doctors were French. Everyone in power were French. And because this the author's grandfather had fought for France during the Second World War, he is put in a position where he is given some sort of positive things. He isn't so harassed as other Moroccans, but the problem. So he has a plot of land that he is not trying to cultivate. So he is given some positive things, but not the same as the French living in Morocco at this time. At the same time, he is married to a French woman who is really in a position of where am I, what am I, and having to learn new customs, having to learn a new language, and especially trying to navigate new set of gender roles. Because Morocco at this time were very strict in regard to gender roles, and much stricter than what she, as a French woman, was used to. So the title of the book, The Other's Country, is of course the play on being a minority in someone else's country. Either that is her being a minority because she is a woman in a patriarchal society, if it's her being a French in the culture that then is dominated by the Moroccan part of French Morocco society, because she isn't given access or full access to the French part of French Morocco society because her husband is Moroccan. How sort of she deals with her Moroccan family. It's about him sort of being in this situation where he is not fully seen as French or given the same possibilities as the French, yet he is not so harassed as the other Moroccans, and especially his own brother. Then we sort of feel around this time there were also the Moroccan rebellion, where a lot of Moroccans were trying to push the French out of their country, where of course this family is in a situation where they don't fit in anywhere. They're not really attacked, but they're not really protected because they're a bit of everything and therefore fit in with the nowhere. And of course, that's the theme of the book in regard to ethnicity, religion, gender, class. I especially liked when, maybe it's not the grandparents, maybe it's the great-grandparents, it doesn't matter, when the daughter of this Moroccan man and French woman starts school. And she is sent to the French school because due to her mother being French citizen, she is allowed to go there. And that is the better school. So they are very sort of, oh, maybe she can be a doctor or something. But she is so harassed because she's poor. They don't really care about her fact that she has a Moroccan father and French mother necessarily, but they are of poor sort of farming family and a rural family, and she has hand-me-downs, and she isn't able to do all the things that her classmates does. So she, of course, ends up being a foreigner due to class. And the book is so brilliant in talking about these themes, because no one is the villain, or the system is the villain, but everyone does bad stuff and everyone suffers, but you don't really feel like, oh, it's just one bad apple. You really feel like you can feel how everyone is struggling with being a minority in regard to everyone they meet. And there is a symbolism that was so wonderful in the book, where the father creates a tree that has both a branch from a lemon tree and a branch from an orange tree, and he gives it to his daughter. I mean, the symbolism is, I can't imagine what it's supposed to symbolize. And the father sort of sadly reflects over how the daughter thinks that this is such a wonderful gift, but the father looks at the tree and thinks about the tree bears fruit, but both oranges and lemons, but neither of the fruit is edible. It's a novelty. And the tree will soon have to pick if it's going to be an orange tree or a lemon tree, if it's going to be sort of give viable fruits. Because if it's going to have to do both, then neither is going to be edible. And it's such wonderful reflections in regard to the dilemmas that this family is in. Now, if I was going to say something about the book, it can be quite bleak. It's a very bleak book because everything is about life is hard for this family. And you have a very sort of, I wanted a bit more about, well, why doesn't the mother just leave? Why doesn't the father just get another wife? There is, I wanted, except for the fact that clearly these two people are the horniest people in the world. I have never been shot at. I've never been in sort of having live ammunition flying over me. But I was not aware that that could be an aphrodisiac. This book proved me wrong. But I wanted... I don't mind it being a bleak book. I don't mind being it a sort of a heavy book. But I wished for a bit more of the moments where I understood why these two people would want one another, why these two people should be together, and not the fact that, oh, these two people should really just be as far away as you can from one another, because it was so... I get it. I get what the book was trying to do. That's just my personal preference. I would have liked to see a bit more of why should I root for these two young people? But then again, that is things that happening at the time. She fell in love with him because he was exotic, and he fell in love with her because she was French, and therefore what he was socialized into thinking as being desirable, and then they were miserable for the rest of their lives. But that was the 2 books I read for the library challenge. What are you reading from your library? And thank you for listening to me screaming into the void.